Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of Bharat Talks. Today we are going to discuss one of the uh, principles of Veer Savarkar, that is the seven shackles that needs to be overcome by the Hindu religion for an ultimate reformation that is required for every person within the
Yeah,
Hindu
so
ideology.
before we start all that, let us do a little bit of introduction. So, we are basically two friends. Who, you don't have to think us as professors, and you don't have to think of us as experts because we are neither. And we are just here to share our thoughts. As simple as that. We are no experts, and this is just us chatting in the weekend. And we just thought maybe we could bring all of you guys into our conversation as well. So, as you guys know, Savarkar, a very controversial figure, for better or for worse, and now A can take over from here.
Okay. So there is a theory behind Savarkar that as has demanded for a mercy petition with the British. So all of his noble deeds that he has performed earlier is no longer applicable to the Hindu religion. So we will try to break that, and we will discuss. And everyone who thinks otherwise please feel free to add your comments. In the future, we will also think of including anyone who has positive thoughts and positive directions to include in our chats and conversations. So today we want to discuss about the seven shackles of Hinduism that we need to overcome, but still in the 21st century, at least from a
Yeah,
20th century guy like me, we still see it prevalent in our society.
at least some of them. At least some of them.
At least some of them are practiced even today in the 21st century India as well by our great grandmothers, grandmothers, and also our mothers.
Yes,
So
and the thing is, you don't have to be a Savarkar supporter or like we are not supporters or something like that. We have come here with a very open mind, and we actually discovered this very late. And when we discovered this, we were actually surprised that this guy is such a modern thinker, right? So, I mean, some of these might be not prevalent today, but some of these are definitely needed for today's day and age. And we are speaking this from the point of view of not fans, but just admirers of these ideas. So now, let's get on with it.
okay, so let's start with the first point, that is the sparsh bandi. Now, bandi is a Hindi word which means shackle, and sparsh, the word means touch. That means the prohibition of touch. That we know in the 18th and 19th century India, it was very much prevalent that other caste will not be able to touch someone from the other caste. Like a Brahmin will not be able to touch a Shudra like this.
Yes, the Varna
So
system.
the Varna system. Now, in the 21st century, I think to bring everyone under the same fold, under the same Hindu umbrella, this has more or less vanished in the urban centers of our country, but is still widely prevalent in the rural areas of, let's say, a Rajasthan, a village in Haryana. So, anyone watching us from there, we should encourage our mothers, our great grandmothers to stop this.
And the
And
thing is, I mean, if we, I'm interrupting you, but if we
yes,
take the reference from one of our holiest books, the Mahabharata, Krishna actually says that the Varna system was not birth based, which means if somebody was good at something, then they could be able to do that. And there were actually, if you think about it from another analogy, and if you think of it like a building, and let's say Brahmins have a floor, and Vaishyas have a floor, and Kshatriyas have a floor, then there used to be ladders between the floors. So Krishna actually said in the Bhagavad Gita that this was created so that merit could be recognized, and it was not birth based. But as we know now, it has become birth based, unfortunately. So the caste system or the Varna system or the Sparsh Bandi, that is actually against our religion if we think about it, right?
So B, I just want to clarify. So, do you think that from this only, this Parshbandi, whatever Savarkar has mentioned, this is the modern form of caste-based politics that is being practiced in India still now?
I mean, the thing about it is that the Hindutva ideology is actually a very modern kind of ideology. because it tries to break all these kind of shackles, but there are still small pockets of caste based, powered, let's say, forts. And those people, let's say for example in Bihar, in
Mm,
Bihar there is a very common phenomena of caste based voting, if you look at it. And the thing is, people are going to, they will vote for their jati, right? So
mm, mm.
if we think about it from that point of view, then it is still prevalent, very much so.
Okay, but this needs to be at most it needs to get abolished right from every
Absolutely.
corner of the part.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this is holding back the Hindu society actually. This is one of the worst things to have happened to the Hindu society. And you know what? This Jai Bhim movement, right?
Mhm,
The
mm.
Ambedkarite movement. I will never
Correct.
speak against Ambedkar, and the simple reason is that there is a reason why they are, converting themselves to Buddhism and all that, because their religion does not recognize them. We should
Correct.
produce a very favorable environment for everyone to keep them. And if, like for example, if we speak about it from a very corporate point of view, if your company does not recognize you, if you do not get the
Mm.
proper remuneration, will you stay in that company? No, right? So as
Yep.
simple as that.
Okay. So this has given to a long years of caste-based politics also in India. So I have seen many people like they do not support this Pashbandi, but when their mothers, grandmothers do this practice, right, they do not
Speak up.
yes, speak up. They do not. They in their minds they oppose it, but they do not have the courage because of their seniority or something like that. They do not speak against that in front of them. But it is high time now. I think in current India, we need to raise up our voices, even if it means that you are going against your family.
Yes, yeah, you do not have to be a Hindutva supporter to do that, because it is just the
Mm,
right thing to do.
mm,
Your society cannot go forward if you have a thing like this, an archaic, ancient thing like this. So
yes.
you have to abolish it.
But just I'm thinking of this thing in I don't know this Sparshpandi, maybe he thought of it in the maybe the 20s or the 1910s. It's a very forward kind of thinking right then, right? The country is
Yes,
not even
yes.
independent,
From
religious war going on.
Yeah, if you think
And
about it, maybe he thought about all these bandis in 1920, probably something around that time when he was
correct.
right. And so, if you think about it from that time's point of view, then it's revolutionary. And I would actually bring your attention to another bandi, which
Mm,
is very much, uh, I would say, going hand in hand with Spurs bandi, and that would be Vedoka bandi. Right.
mhm,
Or some people call it Vedbandi. Vedbandi is
mm,
basically prohibition from reading the Vedas. So
mm,
you can call it a side effect of Sparsbandi, because Sparsbandi
mm,
is untouchability.
mm,
Against untouchability. Sparsbandi, shackles of untouchability. And Vedbandi is exactly like that. The caste system stopped other people except Brahmins to read the Vedas. And I would say that was one of the biggest harm done in the Hindu community as a
okay,
whole.
so it is like the Shudras will not be able to read the Vedas, something like that.
Exactly. The
Okay,
Brahmins were the only people who could read the Vedas. And
okay.
the thing about it is that I understand it from a point of view of common sense also, because if you go back to our ancient scriptures, then there is a thing called Brahman Hatya Mahapap hai. So
Mm.
the actual logic behind that, the
Okay,
actual
it's like because the people who read the Vedas, if you kill them, now who will be the ones who will be
exactly,
giving you the teachings?
exactly,
Okay.
because our
Hmm.
scriptures used to be passed down orally. Right.
Hmm.
So Brahman Hatya Mahapap. That was not from a very religious point of view, but it was from a practical point of view, and that
Mhm.
actually morphed into the Vedbandi kind of thing. I mean,
Okay.
they became the only people that could, and I won't completely blame the Brahmins, because Brahmins alone can never do something like that. Other power pockets are always there that
Hmm.
encourage
Hmm.
them, right?
Hmm.
So that
And
is that
do you
was.
think this Vedakavati is still practiced today in India? Like, are the other caste or the people from other castes not reading the Vedas or the religious texts? Let's say.
I mean, it's gone. Uh, no, the one thing I would like to highlight is that one of the biggest problems we have in our Hindu society is Sanskrit, right?
Mm.
So
Mhm.
even if, I mean, nobody is going to stop you from reading the Vedas now. You can get the
Mm.
Vedas literally search. You can literally search on Google and get the Vedas. But the thing is,
Mhm.
you are probably going to read the English version or Hindi version or your language, your colloquial language version, right? You are not going to
Correct.
read
Correct.
it in the actual authentic version.
Mhm.
And I think that that is a restriction, but apart from that, I don't think it is still being practiced. I think we are just handicapped right now because we do not know Sanskrit.
Mm. Yes.
I mean, even if you.
Sanskrit, like all the modern languages have come up from Sanskrit, but somehow the Sanskrit language itself is lost in India, right? Like how many of us? Because I think when I talk to my parents, they had Sanskrit in their schools. They were taught as a third language. But
Yes,
when
mine
we
too,
came to the
exactly.
elementary school, yes, we don't have it. I don't know why it was stopped. But
I mean, Western education, right? Western
mm,
education priorities, you can call it like that, because Sanskrit, reading Sanskrit probably
mm,
would give you a sense
mm,
of pride, but it would not get you a job. I mean,
correct.
both goes hand in hand. That is a different topic for a different day. How pride in your culture and confidence in your civilization will actually help you get jobs and build your economy. But that is a different thing. If you look at it from a short-sighted point of view, then maybe
Mm,
schools removed it for that reason, because they were not thinking long term.
mm.
I think, at least.
Okay. Okay. So we have covered around two bandis for now, and let's. This is one is very interesting, right? This is the Sindhu bandi. Now, this
Yeah.
shocks me, like
See,
how
Sindhu
this
Bandi,
can be prevalent.
or to some of our friends who might read from another source, Samudra Bandi.
Samudravati, correct. That you can't be a seafarer. If you cross the seas, if you have traveled in a boat or a ship, that you have lost your religion. Now, how did it come up? We don't know actually. Do you know? Do you have any
I
idea?
mean, I tried to search about it. One of the
Hmm.
things is that Sindhu, like when we say Sindhu,
Hmm.
it actually had some kind of a religious connotation, right? Like
Hmm.
Maganga is actually it's worshipped by us, and Ma Saraswati. Saraswati river is an ancient river. It can't be found nowadays. But at
Mhm.
least from that point of view, Sindhu used to be like, you can call it misconception or something like that. But Sindhu used to be like a barrier, religious barrier kind of a thing. I mean, if you crossed it, you are leaving the land of your religion, where you have your gods and goddesses, your temples, your origin of religion. And if you are crossing that, then you probably will not have any center for worship. You will, I mean, I think about it from that point of view. I think it came about like that. What do you think
Okay.
about it?
Okay. Okay, now I have one critical question regarding this Sindhu Bandi. See, Swami Vivekananda in the year 1891 or 92 went to the United States, right, for that famous Chicago visit, right?
Yeah.
Now he traveled by sea. Now, did the people of India at that time oppose this, or they were just unaware that someone from Bengal, someone a Hindu leader, Swami Vivekananda, has gone to the US to deliver a speech, and weren't there any repercussions when he came back?
As far as I know, there were obviously some. As far as I know, I obviously, we can't be all knowing. We are not Lord Vishnu, right?
Yeah.
As far as
Yes.
I know, there were some small pockets of Orthodox religious authority, and they had some problem with him. All right.
Mm, mm,
Apart from that, the common notion was that this person is a religiously educated person. I mean,
mm,
he is obviously above the normal, let's say, wage laborer who is being sent to, for example, Mauritius.
mm,
So, I mean, he was pretty safe from this Sindhu Vandi thing, because he is representing a religion, right? And so
mhm,
they thought this religious learned man, no harm could befall him. I mean, he is not going to lose his religion because he is going out to represent that religion.
Okay. Okay. So we can conclude that it was only applicable to the, let's say, the economically weaker sections of the society, the laborers at that time, to prohibit them from going abroad and work, to make them work in the local areas so that they
Yes.
do not
So
escape from the your society, your town or village. It
yes,
was
that can be
introduced.
one thing, and there might be a political angle to this as well, because maybe let's say
Mm,
some political leader wanted a majority of power, and
mm,
these people going out was literally carving down his power. Right? Your village,
mm.
let's say you're a village panchayat leader, and people from your village are going away, or they are being taken to, let's say, some kind of British colony. Let's say, for example, Uganda,
Mm, mm,
to be workers, right? And
mm,
so your
mm,
village population is going down, and your authority is going down along with that. So maybe that kind of a leader could create a controversy, or to create, let's say, fear in the minds of the people, that if you leave like this, then you are going to lose your religion. And of course, people that
mm.
time.
And he won't be accepted by the society when he comes back.
Exactly.
Ah,
So maybe
okay.
there is a political angle, there was a political angle to this, but I think this is a bogus thing. I mean, if you are a religious person, then it will be even more bogus for you. Like the world.
I don't think there is no mention of this in even the religious scriptures as well, right? Now,
No,
this is purely a thing that came up that during the political times of that time, these leaders might have came up with it because there is no mention of this in the Vedas or any Upanishads anywhere,
abs-
right?
as far as I know, I haven't seen any mention of it. I mean,
Okay.
the whole universe is created. If you are a religious person, to that person, the
Mm,
world, the universe is created by God. I mean, if you
mm,
cross the ocean and go to some other place, then that is also created by God. How are you going to lose a religion,
mm,
right?
mhm. Yes.
So let's move on to something else. Like,
Okay,
would you
let's.
like?
There
Yeah.
is, yeah, yeah. Let's. There is this one is this one is widely prevalent today, and I I have friends who have been following this. That is Beti Bandi. Now, this is very important.
Yeah.
Prohibition of intercaste marriages. Now, this is actually relevant. You can see within your own fold of people whom you are meeting, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Uh,
this is one of the most, I would say, this is one of the most potent reasons why I support this person called Savarkar, because
mm,
this has
mm.
scientific roots. You continue, and I will just add to it later.
Okay. So this I have spoken to many people, especially from Bihar, Rajasthan. The same line that comes up is like, वो हमारे बिरादरी का होना चाहिए. Now why? Now why? The question comes, right? So they
No,
say
but there is
that,
a hypocrisy in there. वो हमारे
hmm,
बिरादरी का होना चाहिए, मगर
hmm,
ऊंची जात का हो तो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, राइट?
okay, okay, okay. So it's like, let's say, who comes in the middle layers of this hierarchy? The Brahmins comes first as per the
Yeah.
hierarchy. So the Kshatriyas, if you are trying to marry a Brahmin, that is fine, but you can't go below the Kshatriya level, right?
Yeah,
That is the belief,
absolutely.
right? You can go higher up, but you can't go down, right?
And from a Brahmin point of view, you have to marry a Brahmin.
This
You
is
can't marry a
relevant
Kshatriya.
even today. Hmm.
So the thing is, I have a very acute observation about this. I
Hmm.
had seen a documentary maybe a few years ago, and let's bring 2 points to it. One of this is that, have you ever read about the king Tutankhamen, Egyptian king?
Yes, yes, I have heard his name, but not. I do not have entire details of his rule.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
these pharaohs, especially him, he had severe physical disabilities, right?
Mhm.
And
Mm,
that was a result of incest. So to keep the bloodline pure, the Egyptian
mm,
pharaohs actually married each other. Like they married their cousins, they married their sisters. They thought they
mhm,
had to keep the bloodline as pure as possible. But basic biology tells us that if we do that,
mm.
then all the flaws in our genetics will get amplified instead of cancelling off.
Correct. It's a wrong result of mutation that happens. A
Exactly.
disastrous effect of mutation. Yes. and it is scientifically proven also, I think.
Exactly. And so let me bring you back to that documentary I was seeing. It was
Mm,
about the Pakistani community in London, right?
mm, mhm,
So now maybe things have changed, but the problem with the Pakistan community in London was that they did not have too many people to marry. I mean, yeah, they are also like a traditional society, like Indian traditional society. They marry in their own caste and all things like that.
mm,
Plus, they
mhm,
have yet another benefit to this, that they can marry their cousins also. It's permitted in their religion. So the thing used to be that they would marry very close to their bloodline,
mm,
and
mm,
this led to a physical, I mean, a trait of physical deformities, and these people were born with very serious physical health conditions. I mean,
mm.
they had very serious genetic conditions, like I mean, it's very serious. Like they used to be born deformed, all this and that. And there is an entire community in England actually of Pakistanis that have this problem because of interfamily marriage. And so I think this, from that point of view, intercaste marriage should be completely abolished if you want to save a race, or if you want to save your bloodline or your people. Because if you marry,
No, just one minute. So, intercaste marriage should be allowed, right? Not abolished. Like
yeah,
someone from
sorry,
one.
sorry, sorry.
So, yeah,
Intercaste
I
marriage
get
should
it.
be
Yeah,
allowed and encouraged.
yeah, yeah.
Should be definitely.
So, yes.
I mean, you can,
So,
if someone is tuning in right now, and this is not
hmm.
live, but if someone actually hears this particular part, then they might think this is a very communist idea, but completely no, because this is,
No, it's scientific. If you're a scientific person, yeah, it's scientific.
yeah,
You
it's a
can read
scientific
about it.
idea. And if you're a
Yeah,
right, if you're a Hindutva supporting person, then this is one of the core principles of Hindutva. Like this is
yeah.
one of the, I mean, one of the pillars of Hindutva, if you say it like that.
So, viewers, if you have an intercaste partner, fight for it. Okay, do not let it go.
Yes,
And it's
but don't
scientific
don't
also.
don't change your religion.
Yes, but fight
Intercaste,
for it.
not
Okay, and
interreligion.
yes, and explain to your family as well that it is scientific as
Yeah,
well.
maybe
It's
we
better
are
for the
backwards.
14th generation. Okay, like we say, right, in our colloquial language. Okay, so let's.
Maybe we
Hmm.
are backward, because I just said not interreligion but intercaste. Anyway,
Correct, correct. Okay. So let's go to another bandi, another shackle, that is Shuddhi Bandi. Now, this is, I think it's being addressed by the current government as of now. We see a lot of Gharwapsi movements happening in many parts of India. But I think the ruling party is following the seven shackles or not. It's just my hypothesis. You can agree or disagree. But let's discuss on this Shuddhi Bandi. I think Savarkar recognized it long back, right? So if you are
yes, it
converting from the Sanatan to another religion, you can't come back. Why not?
absolutely. If you go back 150 years ago, you don't have to go 150 years ago. Let's go back,
Hmm.
let's say 70, 80 years ago.
Hmm.
This thing, there was no concept of Ghar Wapasi. All right, there
Hmm.
was simply no concept of it. At least it was not in the mainstream. I mean, if you left your religion, then you left it. And
But it is not with other Abrahamic religions, right? They never had this, right? You can come back and leave it anytime. You can't leave it. You can come back anytime. You can come to it at any point of time, right?
yes, you can't. So that makes it the same thing, right? I mean, you
Ha.
can't
You
leave
can
it.
leave it only. Here you can. You have the freedom to leave it, but you can't come back.
But there is an exception to this. I would
Hmm.
say the exception is, let's say, Judaism.
Hmm.
There is no, let's say, standardized way you can be a Jew. If you want to
Hmm.
be a Jew now, if you want to read the Torah, that's fine, but you won't be accepted by the Jewish society as a Jewish person.
Now, is it still relevant, right? If I
Yes, 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 absolutely. I
okay.
mean, let's say the leaders of the Jewish community, if they accept you publicly and if you're a public figure, then that's a different thing. You might be.
Mhm.
It's just like citizenship in Japan. I mean, if you're a public figure, or let's say citizenship in North Korea, if you're a public figure, let's say Michael
Yeah.
Jackson. If Michael Jackson was a Kim Jong Un fan, then Kim Jong Un would publicly declare him as a North Korean. That is a different thing. But if
So
you're
if
a,
you are a celebrity and has a widespread influence, So you can
Then
accept
yeah,
Judaism
then
or yeah.
yeah, then the equation is different. But if you are, let's say me, let's say A or B, your new
Mm,
online
mm,
friends, if you are just
mm,
like us,
mm,
commoners, normal people, then
mm,
you simply can't become a Jew if you want. It's very
mm,
difficult actually. There is no standardized process. And so the good thing about Hinduism is that you can actually become a Hindu if you want. There is a
mm,
standardized process to it.
mm. So
So
now Sanatana is becoming everlasting and ever changing, right? I
yes,
think
yes,
our Sanatana Dharma has gone through massive reformation over the years, but the good thing is
absolutely,
it is still going on. It's not that we have stopped the reformation process.
absolutely.
We are doing it.
I
We
mean,
are the people who want to come into the Sanatana fold can come in.
absolutely. I mean, think about it. Sanatan Dharma has gone through so many changes. Like,
Mm,
if we consider Jainism and Buddhism, then they are also a
mm,
reformation of Sanatana Dharma.
mm,
If you
mm.
talk about
They are
Sikhism,
branches, right? They are sub branches of Sanatana Dharma.
yes, I mean, their founders were born into the fold and they wanted to do some changes. So,
Correct.
they like some people call it different panth of Hinduism.
Mm,
So, yes, Reformation, I would say the Reformation movement is single handedly being carried by the Hindutva movement.
mm, mm,
And before anyone says anything, we would also like to clarify that Hindutva is actually a political movement. Some people have this confusion.
mm, mm,
And yeah, you can explain it probably better that who is a Hindu. Savarkar actually talked about this,
mm,
that if you fall into the landmass of India and if you
mm.
call India your fatherland, then you are a Hindu. It doesn't matter.
Fatherland or motherland? Because we tend to call ourselves as Bharat Mata, right?
Yeah, but he actually said Pitri Bhumi.
Pitri Bhumi. Oh, that's why the term may be given to Mahatma Gandhi as well, father of the nation.
That's not official, you know. This is one
Okay.
thing people don't know. People
Okay. This
think
gonna
it's
be this is gonna be controversial, but
no, no,
yeah,
no.
we will.
It's not
Yeah.
controversial. It's fact. The government
Okay.
of India, whether we talk about the Congress government or the NDA government, no
Mm.
government actually officially designated him as the father of the nation. It's just something we say, like we say Hindi is the official language. No,
Actually, this father of the nation, I was reading somewhere. Maybe I have to fact check again. But this title was given to him by Netaji, right?
yeah,
In one of the Congress declarations, right? In not the conferences, one of the
absolutely.
sessions that Congress had.
Before Gandhiji threw him out, before
Yes.
Gandhiji
Yes.
got scared of his popularity and power, absolutely.
Okay. 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 Then you are saying that nowhere in the National Archives of our Indian history that is there in the National Library, right? So this term is nowhere used for Gandhi, the father of the nation. It is just used by
Not
the
officially.
historians,
Not officially.
not officially. Okay. Okay.
Not of, I mean, we all, let's say, let's for example, we live in a village and everybody
Mm,
in the village says this guy has the best kachori in the village, this shop sells the best kachori.
mm, mm.
And after saying this multiple times, one fine day when a foreigner comes and hears that, they probably think this is a title officially given by the village, but that is not the case.
Okay. Mm, okay.
And
Okay. I think we have covered. Okay. You want to add anything to that?
uh, Beti Bandi, Roti Bandi. I think we have probably covered nearly
Probably
all of
covered
them.
five, mainly the five which are relevant. We have covered. I'm just seeing there any other thing we have left.
Roti Bandi.
Uh, Roti bandi is there, right?
Roti
So
Bandi.
it's like you can't have food sitting on a table with some other people from the other caste, right?
Other caste, and it extended to
And
other religions as well.
okay, okay.
I mean, there was
This I
a
think have been. I don't know. I am not sure whether it is still prevalent in India, but not
in
sure it is
some.
in.
I mean, if you go to some village on the outskirts, you can probably find this. But I don't think this is relevant in the cities. I mean, if you go out to any restaurant, do you ask the religion? No. Do you ask the caste?
Hmm,
Absolutely.
hmm, hmm. Absolutely not correct.
So I think this is
Okay.
we can say goodbye to this. I mean. We are happy
Okay,
this is
we
going
have
on.
discussed all of this, and I think any viewers who have any comments regarding if you have, if you want to fact check any of them, and you think that we have given any wrong information, please correct us. We
Yes,
will
and
be happy to correct
we would
ourselves.
also like to tell you that this is not an educational podcast. We are just,
It is just a discussion.
yeah,
Hmm.
we are just two friends speaking, and a few other friends like you are just listening to us. You can
Okay.
talk about your opinions in the comments. Maybe you would want us to talk about something else, maybe a different
And
kind of
if
topic.
anyone wants to join us in any future discussions, also, right, we would like to include them
We
as
would
well,
love it.
right?
We would love it.
We would love it. We would love to hear other people's opinions, other people's views. It's welcome. It's an open discussion. It's an open forum. Anybody, anyone can come in and come and have their opinions here.
And before we go, one thing that everybody should listen to, this is very important. Please go out and vote. Your vote counts.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who
Yes.
you vote for. We have our
Mm.
opinions, you have your opinions, but please vote.
Yes.
So I think,
Because
yeah,
voter turnout, we want that this year, right? Voter turnout actually increases to and crosses the 70 percentage mark. So
absolutely.
at least it symbolizes that 70. Let's say in a country of 100 people, it symbolizes 70 people. 70 people are interested on how the country progresses and how the next 5 years should be governed.
Absolutely,
You have a
because
voice on that.
at least out of 100 people, 70 people should vote. I mean, I can discount 20 people because they probably might live somewhere else. They might have
Hmm, hmm,
some
hmm,
kind of important, I mean, work
hmm,
that day. They might be
hmm,
ill. I can discount
hmm,
20 people like that.
hmm.
10 people, all right, let's leave 10 people out of it. But at least 70 people should vote. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Okay,
So,
I think that's it. We can wind up today's discussion, and we have covered all of the points, all of the bandis as well. So I think we can wind up for today.
anyway, so goodbye everyone and Jai Hind.
Yeah,
See
Jai
you
Hind.
again.
See you again. Bye, everyone.